In the kingdom of instant death, he is the emperor. A single gram of his venom can end the lives of 20 grown men. His strike speed is faster than the blink of an eye, 2.5 meters per second. Enough to turn any enemy into a corpse before they even realize what is happening. He is the King Cobra, the king of venomous snakes, the only creature on Earth with king in its name. But today, that title will become meaningless, because today, his opponents do not fear death. No, they crave death. Every attack is a perfect suicide mission. Every bee inside is a perfect worker. They have their own language, the language of dances and scents. They have laws, social order, and an astonishingly strict division of labor. And at the center of that fortress lies the queen, the heart of the entire kingdom. She lays 1,500 eggs a day, sustaining life for the whole empire. Surrounding her are snow-white larvae, pupae in transition, and the most precious treasure, honey. Those drops of golden nectar are not just food. They are life insurance, an energy reserve bank. The reason why all 30,000 lives are ready to be sacrificed. And the one slithering closer? He comes from a completely different world, a world of solitude. The King Cobra does not live in a pack. He is a solitary assassin, a perfect predator gifted by creation with a lethal present, neurotoxic venom. His venom does not destroy cells or rot flesh like a viper's. No, it is more sophisticated. It attacks the nervous system directly, blocking signals from the brain to the muscles. The victim is completely paralyzed while remaining conscious, feeling every moment of approaching death. It is a cold, slow, and terrifying death. But today, that formula will no longer work. The snake begins to climb. Every movement is a masterpiece of camouflage. Muscles under the skin ripple gently, pushing the 3-5 meter long body upward without a sound. Large belly scales grip the rough bark like tiny climbing hooks. He approaches the hive. The distance is 1 meter. His head rises, the neck expanding into the characteristic hood, the final warning sign. Eyes with vertical pupils observe the target coldly, like two cracks. The forked tongue flicks out, waving continuously, collecting scent molecules in the air. The sweet smell of honey, the warm smell of beeswax, and a strange smell, the smell of warning. The message spreads at breakneck speed, from one bee to another. Within 30 seconds, all 30,000 residents have received the message, and they respond not with panic, but with preparation for death. The snake thinks he is facing a swarm of insects. He is wrong. He is facing a superorganism, a single living entity with 30,000 arms, 60,000 eyes, and one unified will: defend the homeland. First, he attempts an intimidation tactic. His hood expands fully. The upper body stands erect, creating a wall of skin nearly half a meter high. He emits a menacing puss-ist hiss, a sound that has terrified countless enemies. The bees do not react. No, they react, but not in the way the snake expects. About 20 of the first warrior bees fly out. They do not attack immediately. They hover around the snake's head, keeping a safe distance, like reconnaissance planes gathering intelligence. The snake loses patience. And that is a fatal mistake. Because when he attacked, he triggered the final defense mechanism of the bee kingdom: total mobilization. The hive entrance bursts open completely. Not dozens, not hundreds of bees, but an entire black river. Thousands of winged warriors pour out like water breaking a dam, forming a pitch-black, roaring, screeching tornado. The gentle buzzing sound disappears, replaced by the piercing, deafening sound of extreme fury. The war officially begins. The bees understand their enemy very well. They have no venomous fangs, no muscular strength, no armor-hard scales. But they have three things. First, overwhelming numbers. Second, suicide weapons. Third, a terrifyingly intelligent tactic. That tactic is deployed immediately, in 3 steps. Step 1. Blind the king. The first wave of attack, about 200 bees, aims straight for the snake's eyes. Not the body, not the neck, but the eyes, the windows to the soul, and also the most critical hunting tool of a visual predator. Bees swarm around the eye sockets. They don't need to sting immediately. Just clinging there, obscuring vision, is already a victory. The snake immediately shuts his eyes tight. He thrashes his head violently, trying to shake off the tiny attackers. But for every one shaken off, 10 others latch on. Within 30 seconds, he is blind. Step 2. Suffocate the beast. Unable to see, the snake opens his mouth to breathe, a natural reflex. And that is the perfect trap. The second wave of attack rushes straight into his mouth and nostrils. Bees try to crawl deep inside, clinging to the soft mucous membranes in the oral cavity, where there are no protective scales. One bee succeeds. She stings. The venom-filled stinger pierces the soft mouth lining. Tiny barbs deploy, holding fast. When the bee tries to fly away, the entire venom apparatus is ripped from her body, left behind in the snake's mouth. The bee falls, convulses, and dies. But her mission is complete. Bee venom begins to take effect immediately. Unlike snake venom, which attacks the nervous system, bee venom is designed to cause pain. Intense pain. Pain severe enough to paralyze the will. The snake jerks violently. He sprays his venom out in agony. Jets of milky white venom splashing into the air, onto trees, into nothingness. His ultimate weapon is wasted uselessly. Step 3. COO, the invader. And this is the final, cruelest step. Thousands of remaining bees do not sting anymore. Instead, they swarm all over the snake's head and neck, beginning to flap their wings furiously. Each bee is a tiny engine. When thousands of engines operate together in a small space, they generate heat. A lot of heat. The temperature around the snake's head skyrockets. 40 degrees Celsius, 45 degrees Celsius, 48 degrees Celsius. For a cold-blooded species like a snake, this is a disaster. His body cannot regulate temperature. He begins to fall into a state of heat shock, eyes blinded, airways blocked, body being slowly boiled alive. The snake, the king of instant death, is now experiencing a slow, painful, and humiliating death. That moment has arrived. The snake can no longer maintain balance. His 3-5-meter-long body begins to wobble on the branch. His head droops, then rises again in hopelessness. Then, he faints and falls. His heavy body drops from a height of 5 meters onto the forest floor with a wet thud, dragging down a cluster of dry leaves and broken branches. He lies there, motionless. Surrounding him are hundreds, maybe thousands of dead bee bodies, martyrs of the Golden Kingdom. Each bee corpse is a story of courage, a life sacrificed to protect 30,000 other lives. Above, the hive remains intact. The surviving bees begin to return, resuming daily tasks, clearing comrade corpses, patching the entrance, caring for larvae. Life goes on, but one thing has changed forever. The snake slowly regains consciousness. He is not dead. The hard scales and strong body protected him from fatal injuries. He slithers into a dark bush, leaving behind the battlefield and the bloody lesson. So, why didn't Venom save this snake? The answer lies in the fundamental difference between two survival strategies. The king cobra is the embodiment of absolute individual power. Honeybees are the embodiment of perfect collective power. The sun begins to set behind the tropical forest canopy, dyeing the landscape a blood-red orange. In the dark bush, the snake lies curled up. Occasionally, he shudders from the stabbing pain of countless stings. A drop of venom still glimmers on his fang, the useless weapon in the past battle. High above, the hive has been patched. The last worker bees of the day are returning, bellies full of nectar and pollen. Inside, the queen continues to lay eggs. New larvae continue to be fed. Golden drops of honey continue to be stored. Life goes on. Today's lesson will enter the collective memory of the hive, passed down through generations. As for the snake, perhaps he will stay far away from beehives for a while. But nature has no room for long-term regret. Somewhere in this eternal old forest, another king cobra is hungry. A new hive is forming. The sweet scent of honey is always alluring in the wind. And the circle of survival, where the strong do not always win, where the weak can become invincible when united, where the death of an individual ensures the life of the collective will continue to turn, forever, until the final sun sets on this old forest.